Hello, 'tis I. I think we all know how a lot of commentators have a tendency to take clips out of context and use that to portray a narrative that is twisted by them or even in some cases doesn't even exist. That's a thing that a lot of people do. It's very common in the commentary community, and there are commentators who spend a lot of their time breaking down these arguments, and usually are focused very heavily on breaking down those arguments because of how much people like to use them. Well, as somebody who watches that kind of content, I can definitely smell somebody who's trying to take a situation out of context when I see it. I can smell it from a mile away. Do not fucking test me. I watch too much Ponder Sprocket to be fucked with. But, in all seriousness, it's especially easy to smell these situations from a mile away when they're twisting your words. So, yeah, let's get on to it. This video is about yet another video on me. And I thought this video was just absolutely terrible. Like, they take so much shit out of context, and of course, like many people, instead of directly responding to the video and cutting out the parts they don't want, they just play the specific clips when they're talking about it, so it's a lot easier to cut shit out of context. And that's exactly what they did. They cut my words out of context, and they tried to portray a narrative of what I was saying when I clarified something different, maybe even just a moment before. Basically, average bad commentator stuff. Somebody taking somebody's words out of context? Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, literally every drama ever. Well, let's get on to it. Before we get started, just a quick cut-in. I just do want to say that if you're interested in more about the foxi boxi drama explained by someone who's a bit more knowledgeable on the subject than me, I would say to go to Definitely Bored Orange's video, because that video explains a lot better about the situation than I ever could. So that video, if I can remember, will be linked in the description. If not, I'm sure you can just look up Definitely Bored Orange's Foxi Boxi and find it. It is a great video. I 100% recommend.
A friend of mine showed me a video made by someone named Mushroom Girl, and basically they were discussing the Foxi Boxi drama. I took a look at it and I was shocked of what I was listening to. Not by the things Foxi has done,
Digital Grim supports Foxi Boxi. Oh my god, you're canceled.
but the excuses and misinformation Mushroom was spreading to others.
Says the one who blatantly cut my words out of context to try and make me seem like I'm saying things that I'm not saying. How ironic.
Mostly young people under the age of 16. I wasn't that surprised by Mushroom's beliefs on this drama due to the fact she supports pro-shipping, bisexual lesbians, and thinks blackwashing exists.
I've got a lot to say on this, and I think you guys can understand why. First of all, I support bi lesbians. Get over it. Stop being a fucking baby and realize that some people have different opinions than you. Hell, I just recently found out that my brother is an omni-romantic homosexual. Do you really think that I'm gonna shit on bi lesbians while having a brother that is basically the same thing and support him? Fuck no. I'd feel terrible if I didn't support bi lesbians and actively spoke against them. And also, you don't explain why believing in blackwashing is bad. That's because it's fucking not, and it's literally just a differing opinion. Boo-hoo, cry about the fact that I have a different opinion somewhere else, not in the video where you're trying to prove that I'm some fucking pedophile supporter or whatever. Oh, and this next one's the fucking kicker. Just because you ship a kid and an adult together doesn't mean you're into the kid. That's a dumb assumption, and that's assuming all pro-shippers ship pedophilic relationships, which is inaccurate. Please don't use words that you don't understand, especially ones like pedophile. Are you fucking telling me that because I said that pro-shippers don't want to fuck kids, that I think that pro-shippers are super cool and dandy? What? Is that your standard for supporting somebody? Do you genuinely think that just because you don't think somebody's a fucking pedophile, that means that that person supports them? Are you fucking okay? So, like, by that logic, do you support Bad Dragon? Just saying. Oh yes, we love implying that a group of people who are very obviously not pedophiles by default are pedophiles by default. That's gonna make me want to listen to everything you say. Especially when you're trying to talk about somebody that you're accusing of being a pedophile. It's almost like I don't want to listen to somebody who thinks that all pro shippers are automatically pedophiles talk about pedophilia, because obviously they have no idea what pedophilia is. And even if you ignore that shit, you still have no idea what pedophilia is, seeing as you say that Foxy Boxy is a pedophile, or at the very least imply it by saying that my point, saying that she wasn't a pedophile, is stupid. Oh, but I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's continue.
But those are different topics for different videos.
Oh yes, wise old Digital Grim, please educate me on how terrible bi-lesbians are, so I can show it to my brother and we can laugh at it together.
I'm more worried about the things she said to excuse Foxy's actions, because this could not only badly influence young minds,
Think of the children!
but it can invalidate those victims who have trauma when it comes to being groomed, specifically by someone who's 3 years older than them.
There were multiple victims of grooming in my comment section, thanking me for making the video.
This is my take on not just the drama, but Mushroom's poor attempt of defending such actions.
Yeah, it sure does seem like I defend her actions entirely when you literally cut out almost every instance of me condemning her actions in your clips.
Before I get onto the topics, I want everyone to know that I don't plan to make any more rant or commentary videos.
So no bi-lesbians video? Aw, man.
Since it's not something I like to do, especially with like the amount of time I have to make videos. My channel is based on video games and animation. I just felt I should discuss this because I myself have had a past of being groomed a lot, and I hate how there's controversy over disgusting actions like this.
Yeah, so for the people who don't speak idiot, let me translate that for you. What they really meant was, I don't think that there should be any nuance or discussion in these dramas because I don't want people to disagree with me. Like, fuck, man, I get that you're a grooming victim and all, but, like, use your head. Some shit needs nuance. Most shit needs nuance. Not everyone is black and white. Most things aren't black and white. You can't just say, I don't want there to be any discussion about this because I'm a victim and I think that it's disrespectful to disagree with me. Like, are you kidding me?
So yeah, as provided by a video Mushroom was looking over, I honestly didn't look at the name, but you could probably find it somehow. Foxy claims to have bought a fantasy toy in the shape of a dog in the shape of dog genitalia, basically.
But Foxy didn't claim that. At least from the screenshots I've seen, and if you've seen more screenshots that prove what you're saying right, show them. Foxy didn't claim to buy a dog dildo. Foxy claimed to have bought from the Bad Dragon Company. That could have been any dildo there.
From a website called Bad Dragon. That's where she got it from. If you don't know what Bad Dragon is, it's basically a website meant for zoophilic purposes, such as buying fantasy toys that are in the shape of animal genitalia.
But did that mean that she bought a dildo that specifically was in the shape of animal genitalia? No.
Such as the dog one. It doesn't have anything that's human related. It's literally just animal fantasy toys.
You better not make me go on that godforsaken fucking website. And you better show some screenshots. You can even blur out the actual toys. Just show the listing for them to show that the majority of them are animal. You want to know what could be considered an animal fantasy toy? A tentacle toy. You know, because those are a thing, apparently. So, tell me, are there any of those on the Bad Dragon website? Because, later in this video, you say you've been to the website. So, come on, tell us. If there is, then there is a great chance, unless there's proof of otherwise, that they bought that one. Which, yeah, isn't zoophilic, it's called having a tentacle kink, which isn't a bad thing, nor is it zoophilic. Yeah, the fact that you show literally no proof, nor do you, like, describe in detail what toys are actually there. Like, I understand, you don't really want to describe sex toys to people, but, when you're talking about a situation like this, you kind of fucking need to for the full context.
And it's gross and, let me play clips of Mushroom's take on this part of the controversy.
This could just be a completely normal, like, toy that people are saying is a dog dildo because of, like, internet telephone. That could be a very real possibility, but that's not being acknowledged here. I'm gonna show Mushroom Girl's take on this. Only shows half of my take. This is fucking pathetic, I swear. Last time I checked, I'm pretty sure I said multiple times in that video that if that dildo was in fact of a dog, and that was like a thing, and that was proven, then yeah, Foxy would be in the wrong here.
What Mushroom misunderstood from this clip is that Bad Dragon does not sell quote-unquote normal fantasy toys, as in toys of human genitalia.
Okay, you do know that dildos can be of things that aren't zoophilic, right? It's not just either you like human ones or you like zoophilic ones. Like I said, tentacle dildos are a thing, and I'm sure that anyone who regularly buys and looks at that kind of content probably knows a lot more examples of interestingly shaped toys that are not considered zoophilic.
It only specifically sells toys of animal genitalia,
which you have no proof of. If you've already been to the website, is it really that hard to just take a couple screenshots?
I'm guessing Mushroom didn't take a look at the website themselves to check if they were only strictly fantasy toys in the shape of animal genitals.
Yeah, but apparently going to the website and showing absolutely no proof you went to the website and, showed no proof of the shit you were actually saying is apparently so much better.
Which is understandable, although it doesn't give her the right to straight up assume it has other options.
Says the one who assumed I supported pro shippers based off the notion that I didn't think they were fucking pedos.
I took a look at the website myself to see, are there options of human genitals? And then there wasn't.
Which again, you show no proof of. If you're actually gonna go on the website and look at the shit there, why not take a couple fucking screenshots? Like, seriously.
And honestly, I did not like to look at this website.
Yes, but make your journey onto the website not any way worthwhile because, no proof.
Even though it was to prove a point.
Too bad you ended up not proving that point, and if you want to prove that point, too bad you're gonna have to go on the website again to take the fucking screenshots you need to take.
It's pretty dumb, but I had to. I also saw a comment under the video related to this topic. They said this: sex toys that aren't shaped as human genitals altogether should be banned.
I mean, they're not wrong. Like, I don't think they were trying to support zoophilic toys. I think they were just trying to say that just because a toy is non-human doesn't mean that it's zoophilic, which is something I agree with.
The animal fantasy toy possibly feels nice.
The reason why I liked that comment was because I understood where they were coming from, even if I didn't agree with them fully. Like, I understood where they were coming from and respected their opinion. That's why I hearted the comment.
They get curious of such fantasy toys, yet would never do anything to an actual animal.
Fantasy toy does not automatically equal animal toy. That's not how that works. Hell, why are people even calling toys like this fantasy toys? A dog is not a fantasy animal, it's an animal that literally exists. When I think of the word fantasy, I think of fucking dragons and monsters and shit. You'd think that that's what people would consider fantasy toys. No, but apparently dogs are fantasy animals now. Like, are dogs fucking cryptids now? I'm so confused.
And they know nothing about the company itself. This is just a big shitstorm of a take. It's honestly disgusting, and I can't believe people are exposing themselves this horribly to defend someone they don't even know personally.
Wait, so you're not allowed to defend somebody you don't know personally, or it's stupid to defend someone you don't know personally, yet you're shitting on somebody you don't know personally. What's the difference here?
I mean, even if they did know Foxy personally, it's still just a big, like, yikes. What's even a bigger yikes is the fact that Mushroom liked these comments, meaning she agrees.
Just because I liked the comments didn't mean I agreed. It was literally just me expressing that I thought that their opinions were valid, even if I didn't agree with them.
I would like these people to stay at least 10 feet away from my cats.
Wait, so, I understand the one who was like, I'm curious about fantasy toys. I understand you being worried about that one, but, what about the others? They didn't show any signs that they were zoophilic. They just, like, at the very fucking worst, if you want to go by your twisted ass logic, supporting zoophilia. Like, at the very worst, going by your logic, supporting zoophilia. Like, sure, that one person may have been zoophilic by your logic, but, what about the others? At worst, they support zoophilia. And even then, probably not even contact zoophilia, so chill the fuck out.
Or any of my pets, or anyone's pets. They shouldn't even have pets of their own if they're gonna just believe these bullshit excuses.
Are you implying that people who support non-contact zoophilia are gonna inevitably become a zoophile? Like, or, let a zoophile harm their pet? What? Especially when it comes to non-contact. What?
About fantasy toys of animal genitals being valid. You're disgusting.
How dare you disagree with me? Like, seriously, we're not even discussing anything serious. We're literally talking about whether non-human toys are okay or not. Chill.
Just because someone is curious about animal fantasy toys does not give them the right to straight up purchase them off a website created specifically for zoophilic purposes.
But the commenter never said that they did that or were thinking about doing that. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Because you're basically paying zoophiles for their fetish, if that makes sense. Curiosity kills the cat, just like curiosity cancels the zoophile. It's also extremely weird how this person said the fantasy toy of an animal genitals might feel good. I don't think I'll have to repeat myself on that, since it's quite obvious how gross that is. It just explains itself. You're gross, you're nasty. Get help, please. With the statement about banning any fantasy toys that don't look like human genitalia, like let's say like the one that like looks like a microphone. I'm not gonna name it. I don't really understand that, because there are ones that are not even meant to look like any genitalia at all. Though the purpose of the toy is to give you pleasure, why ban that?
So you're saying if it makes you feel good, why get rid of that? But that would also apply to dog dildos, so what are you talking about?
What if a lesbian person wants something that doesn't look like a dick? That's one of the reasons why non-genital looking fantasy toys are an option.
I'm genuinely curious about what this person thinks of tentacle dildos. There's a part of this video that's completely irrelevant and just talks about a different comment that I'm literally not aware of, so skipping!
So I'm gonna go over Mushroom's points made about the grooming situation. These points made my brain ache, to be honest.
If that doesn't give the impression that they're enjoying the conversation, I don't know what does. Like, what? You need to be blunt, and if you're not blunt about it, nobody is going to see that you don't want to engage in the conversation.
Okay, so Mushroom thinks that just because a 13-year-old sends a blushing emoji, hold on, I have to burp, means they're consenting to something, and the 13-year-old should have stated they didn't want to do sexual things. I don't think Mushroom realizes how 13-year-olds, not all, but at least like some of them, or at least the majority of them, I don't know, they can still be influenced by people older than them, which plays a big part in the grooming situation.
But, being influenced by someone older than you isn't fucking grooming. Sure, it's a, part of grooming, but being influenced by someone older than you is not grooming. Something that this person does not specify, nor do they show any clips of it in my video, something that I said multiple times from what I can remember was, it is not Foxy's nor Void's fault that Void did not have the voice to speak up. That is not either of their fault. But you want to know what was Void's fault? for not speaking up and then blaming Foxy for it in a call-out post. Yeah. If Void would have been like, oh yeah, I didn't speak up, I didn't really want to, do those things, stuff like that. I didn't want those things said to me. I didn't speak up about it, It's whatever, it's in the past. That would have been fine. That's not anyone's fault. That is literally no one's fucking fault. That is called two children being immature and not knowing how to, and one of them not knowing how to, speak up for themselves. And that's normal for children. It's whatever. But the issue is that the younger of the two decided to try and, first of all, make up the fact, they straight up made up the fact that they said they were uncomfortable. They made it up and then used bullshit screenshots to try and prove that, even though the screenshots did not prove shit. And then they made a call-out post talking about how terrible and disgusting Foxy is for grooming them, quote-unquote, when there was no grooming involved.
And that's it plays a big part in grooming itself.
That doesn't make it grooming, though.
Also, a blushing emoji doesn't automatically mean yes.
Sure, a blushing emoji isn't a yes, but to an immature 16-year-old who does not understand shit, especially through text, that can 100% be considered a yes. We're also just gonna ignore the fact that they had a sexual fucking roleplay that they both consented to, right before. Are we just gonna fucking ignore that? That could have been considered a yes? And well, yeah, it's not a yes. I don't think it's Foxy Boxy's fault for not realizing that that's not a yes. Again, Foxy Boxy is an immature fucking child, and we're just gonna ignore that for the sake of calling them a fucking pedo.
Even if it did, 13-year-olds cannot consent to a 16-year-old.
Yeah, they can't consent. That doesn't make the older person a fucking groomer, though, nor does it make them a pedophile.
I'll explain that after this next clip, but yeah, it wasn't straight up a no. It wasn't a straight up yes either.
Does that make the 16-year-old a groomer or pedophile? No! The 16-year-old isn't in the wrong because they thought that somebody who wasn't consenting was in a sexual conversation. I'd understand if we were talking about something like sex here, but we're not. It's literally a conversation in DMs.
A blushing emoji isn't clear consent.
Okay, that doesn't mean that can't give them the fucking impression that they are consenting when they may not be. That is not Foxy's fault.
As much as you think it is. In situations like this, a 13-year-old might not know what to say.
Okay, that doesn't excuse Void making a stupid fucking call-out post, though.
Whether they've had sexual interactions or haven't, or they're uncomfortable and don't want to hurt the other person's feelings.
They don't want to hurt the person, but they can make a whole fucking call out literally accusing somebody of being a fucking groomer, but they can't say, hey, actually, I don't really like this conversation. Can we stop it, please?
You can't really blame a 13-year-old for not being blunt when a situation like this.
And you can't blame a 16-year-old for not understanding somebody who isn't being blunt about how they feel.
It can be considered pressuring for a 13-year-old since they're 13-year-olds are known for being very inexperienced.
So are 16-year-olds.
And people who are afraid to say no exist.
Oh yes, let's just ignore the call-out post they made trying to villainize Foxy Boxy for shit that was not their fault. And just act like, oh, Void's the uwu victim here, right? Void isn't good at saying no, okay? Doesn't make it Foxy's problem.
I'm sometimes afraid to say no.
No, a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old is not pedophilic. I'm pretty sure for a 16-year-old to be considered a pedophile, they have to be attracted to somebody at least 5 years younger than them, which an age gap does not equal pedophilia.
Okay, right, yeah, right, but, after that statement, I just need to...
I'm right, though. Pedophilia is the sexual attraction to prepubescent children. A 13-year-old is not prepubescent. Usually by prepubescent, they mean under 13, meaning that a 13-year-old would be just there. Does that mean that Foxy Boxy should be talking to somebody significantly younger than them? in that way. No, I think that foxy boxy was in fact in the wrong on that, and I'm pretty sure I said that in my video, but of course you conveniently don't fucking show that.
The sentence explains itself, it's wrong. Okay, this is my explanation. A 13-year-old is considered a middle schooler, 7th grade or 8th grade at best. 13-year-olds are not at the legal age to have sex with people 16 or older.
That doesn't make Foxy a pedophile, though. By definition, that does not make them a pedophile. Pedophilia is the attraction to prepubescent children. I already said this. A 13-year-old is sure as hell not prepubescent.
Some 13-year-olds even start puberty at their age,
which wouldn't make them prepubescent.
A 16-year-old can legally drive, have a job, have sex with other 16-year-olds or 17-year-olds.
Good for them, I guess. Doesn't make Foxy a fucking pedo, though. Seriously, all you're fucking arguing here is whether this relationship was wrong. Do I think it was wrong? Yeah, it is not good. Not good. Do not, if you're 16, do not talk like that to 13-year-olds. No, do not do that. That is bad. That is bad. Though, that does not make them a pedophile, and that does not make them a groomer, which is what you're implying that they are.
They can consume alcohol with adult supervision in the U.S.
I don't think that that's a thing in the U.S. I'm pretty sure that you have to be at least 21 to drink. Also, assuming that what you're saying is right, I wonder why they need parental supervision. It's almost like they're fucking idiot teenagers.
And they are a sophomore or a junior in high school. They're at the age where they know better than a middle schooler or even a freshman.
Hopefully they know better to not make stupid fucking call-out posts on people you think are groomers when they're actually not.
The maturity difference between a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old is more different than you think.
Yeah, I know. That does not make the 16-year-old a fucking pedophile, though. You are not proving anything other than, yeah, these two groups of people should not date. Yeah, I said that in my fucking video. What's your point?
At least the majority of 16-year-olds are more mature than 13-year-olds.
Doesn't mean they're mature enough to not make stupid fucking decisions with those stupid fucking hormones.
I don't know. Some of them have, like, fart humor, like me. 13-year-olds can claim that they're mature for their age, but at the end of the day, it's stated on plenty of sources that a 13-year-old engaging in sexual acts with someone who is 16 or older, it's illegal and is considered to be sexual assault.
But they weren't dating, nor were they having sex. The only thing I can see from these screenshots is them saying, I want to see more of you. That doesn't automatically mean that they want to see porn. That could literally just mean looking at them in a bra.
Oh my god. You know damn well. You know damn well. Even if Foxy wanted to see Void in a bra or underwear or any undergarments, that's still considered sexualizing a 13-year-old.
It's not CP, though. You can argue it's bad all you want, but it's not CP. And you can't argue that it's CP because it's not. Sexualizing a 13-year-old is not CP. CP needs to be porn. That's the point I was making.
That is still considered asking a 13-year-old for sexual photos of themselves.
Asking a 13-year-old for sexual photos isn't CP, though. Every single way I can, and then an emoticon. Are you telling me that you think that that was a serious statement? With the fucking emoticon at the end? Are you guys fucking stupid?
Okay, this take is literally so dumb. I get there's people who can't tell whether or not something is a joke online because of the lack of tone, like with no tone tags, but an emoji is not a fucking tone tag.
What? Yes, it fucking is. You do know that that's what emojis are for, right? Tone tags are just a more clear way of using emojis, especially because a lot of emojis aren't really used as the genuine emotions they are. That's why tone tags exist. But emojis are literally the OG tone tags. Are you fucking stupid? Also, that's an emoticon, not an emoji.
If anyone watching isn't familiar with tone tags, they basically help people with telling tone in text, such as whether or not something is sarcastic. They're mostly used for neurodivergent people, like me. But anyways, the emoji literally doesn't invalidate the fact the statement was threatening.
Yes, it fucking does. Like, it really does. That was not a threatening statement. Now tell me, look at these two sentences. Which one is threatening and which one is a joke? Tell me. I wonder which one's the joke here. Like, god fucking damn it, I'm autistic and even I can tell that that's a joke.
Foxy most likely used the emoji in an awkward sense, like she feels awkward for having to tell Void not to expose her.
What the fuck is that even supposed to mean? Are you kidding me? The emoticon that was used could literally never be used to threaten somebody genuinely, ever. Literally, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's just how the emoji looks to me. The face looks awkward.
Which means I'm right and you're wrong.
Fuck.
Then Foxy sends child porn of themselves, and that also means Foxy is in the wrong. I'm seeing a bit of a bias here.
Alright, I do agree that Foxy sending an explicit photo of herself is considered CP, and it isn't okay. But that doesn't take away the fact that, one, Void didn't ask for the photo, or at least there isn't evidence of Void asking for the photo, and two, she sent it to someone 3 years younger than her, someone who isn't at the age of consent to her.
You're clearly trying to argue as if the topic is about whether or not the relationship was okay. It's not really about whether or not the relationship was okay. We both agree the relationship was not okay and not good. Like, that was not a good relationship because of the age gap. Does that make it pedophilic and grooming, which is what I'm trying to disprove here? No! Shut up!
So, who's more in the wrong, really?
Oh, I don't know, maybe the person who made a spiteful call-out post trying to accuse a well-known artist of grooming them, probably for clout. And if you're talking about specifically, you know, the sexual stuff, yeah, probably Foxy, but, doesn't make him a fucking groomer, though.
And I have a question for Mushroom, or anyone who agrees with Mushroom's statement. So, you think a 13-year-old can consent to a 16-year-old, right?
I never fucking said that. All I said was that it's not pedophilic, nor is it grooming.
What about a 13-year-old with a 17-year-old?
Bad, not pedophilic, and could be grooming based on the situation.
What about a 9-year-old with a 12-year-old?
Probably bad, not pedophilic, and probably not grooming. I don't think a 12-year-old has the power to groom someone. Just saying. Also, neither of the parties would be able to consent to each other, so that just kind of makes the 12-year-old less in the wrong, but it's still bad. Like, but first of all, don't date when you're 9. That's a fucking stupid move. Also, probably don't date when you're 12. I dated when I was 12. I got my fucking heart broken, bro. It was terrible. Yeah.
Since, you know, you think that 4-year age gaps are alright.
What? When the fuck have I ever stated that? 13 and 16 is a 3-year age gap, not a 4-year age gap. Where the fuck are you getting this from?
You think that 5 is the extent? What about a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old? What's your excuse for that? I'd actually like to know.
If you want to know my opinion, it's bad. Like, yeah, it's bad. It's not pedophilic by any means. And, it's whether it's grooming very much depends on, factors that you can't really tell by just saying, what if 10-year-old and 14-year-old dated? You can't really tell whether it's grooming just based on that information. My quote-unquote excuse is, a 14-year-old can't be considered a pedophile, and a 14-year-old probably wouldn't groom somebody, though it is possible, so I'm not gonna say, like, concretely that it can't happen, because it definitely can in certain circumstances. Also, a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old, they are both very immature, meaning that it's kind of hard to place any kind of, ill motives on the older party, because the older party is so stupid and immature. So, it just depends on a lot of factors. Like, age isn't the only thing that matters. While, yes, age can be a huge factor in certain circumstances, it's not in these ones.
Okay, this is Mushroom's take on the cousin situation.
Something very important to the situation that does not seem to be explained at all in any video was this OC a self-sona or was it just a regular character? Because that's a representation of themselves, and then just a regular OC might not have anything to do with the actual creator. Yeah, I stated in that video that what Foxy did was bad, and that Foxy drawing art like that of their cousin's character is not okay, though it isn't incestual, something that you agree with me on. That was not okay of Foxy Boxy at all. Though I have heard rumors, keep in mind this is just alleged, so this isn't like a thing that I'm saying concretely, take this with a grain of salt. But I also heard that it was a shared character, so it was like a character they both owned, I guess. So it was the cousins but also theirs. Though I don't know if that's true. Again, I'm just saying that because I've heard it, and if people want to look more into that, then they can go ahead and do that. I'm just putting that out there as a possibility. Though I'm not gonna act like that's true because I don't know and I have no proof of it.
I haven't seen the NSFW myself, so I can't say whether or not it was the cousin self-summoner or the OC or whatnot, and I don't even know a lot about Foxy's cousin or anything. But drawing NSFW for your cousin who is a minor is fucking gross. I have a cousin who I'm good friends with. We both have OCs, all that cool shit. But would I ever have a single thought of drawing my cousin's OC or self-summoner in a sexual way? Absolutely not. Especially since my cousin is a minor. But regardless of his age, I would never share sexual fantasies with my cousin. And that's basically what Foxy did. She shared her sexual fantasies with her underage cousin. Maybe it isn't considered incest. Maybe they weren't like, oh my god, I wanna fuck you. I don't really know about that part, but it's like still morally wrong, and Foxy shouldn't be defended for this.
I didn't defend them for it though. Like, literally everyone I've seen talk about the situation, whether they were against Foxy or not, have said that that was weird. I've literally never seen someone defend them. Sure, people have said, yeah, it's probably not incestual, which isn't defending them, that's just stating something. Like, that's not defending their actions.
Hey, little fella. Oh, gosh, you're cute.
Why is Foxy being cancelled for this? Foxy let minors follow their not safe for work account. I mean, okay, this is 2 minors, and while the minor should not be having the account in the first place, this doesn't make the minor bad or gross for letting other minors follow their NSFW account.
Foxy was automatically in the wrong for setting up an NSFW account while being underage in the first place.
Yeah, I said that in the video, in the clip you played. Watch the clips before you respond to them, dum-dum.
Also, it literally is stated on many sites that it is illegal to expose minors to NSFW.
I don't think minors following them would be considered transferring not safe for work to minors. Like, transferring implies some kind of sending, you know, like in DMs. Somebody actively allowing minors to follow an account with not safe for work on it is not the same as sending not safe for work to minors. By this logic, anybody with a public not safe for work account should be shat on because children might see it.
Even if the person is a minor themselves. There's nothing else to say about it except the fact Foxy let her underage cousin follow the account too. Like I said, probably not considered incest. I don't know, but I do know that it's disgusting. Cause why would you just expose your family member to that stuff? Like, I get if you're close and you trust each other, but no, you don't do that. Like,
if they're openly talking about it to each other, why isn't this unknown draws person also being condemned for this? Oh wait, this video's on Foxy Boxy, so we gotta condemn Foxy and only Foxy.
And I mean, yeah, the main discussion is about Foxy. That's literally the point. And the thing is that unknown draws isn't a big part in this situation either.
You do realize that what you just said isn't a good thing, right? Like, it's not a good thing to admit that, oh, this person isn't popular, so we're not gonna go after them. Like, you're literally just admitting that you're doing drama shit for the sake of drama shit. This isn't actually about who's morally in the right and who's morally in the wrong. Because, if it was actually about that, you would be condemning both of them for that point equally.
So, You know, it's a whole separate thing. It's a whole separate thing for her.
Why? Oh yeah, it's because drama gets more traction when people think that there's one good guy and one bad guy. It's totally not like shit isn't black and white and that everyone can be the bad guy in their own way in a situation. No, because drama's only fun when we get to shit on one person for being the most terrible person ever, right?
Or them. I don't know who they are. Basically, Mushroom just says there's no evidence that Foxy scammed people who wanted to commission her, and I'm guessing she didn't look hard enough or look at like any sources except fucking YouTube, which makes sense because Mushroom hasn't shown anything to back up her claims for the previous topics. She hasn't even shown any websites saying it's fine for a 13-year-old to consent to a 16-year-old. This is the proof that I've found myself.
Literally all of that is just hearsay, other than some like PayPal screenshots, but you can't even fucking see them, so like, what's the point of these screenshots? They're literally just saying, oh, Foxy Boxy scammed me, here's the details, without showing any proof that they were actually scammed. Has Foxy Boxy scammed people? Maybe. I'm not gonna say that they haven't, because I don't fucking know, and I'm not gonna assume that they haven't. Because maybe these people are being legit and maybe they have actually scammed people. But there's no actual proof of that I have seen. Is there some proof out there? Maybe? Sure, probably. But that proof isn't being shown here, and that's the issue.
So if you haven't seen the video, you could just search it yourself and watch it. It's kind of all over YouTube. It's basically just Foxy guilt tripping and making excuses the whole time. The average YouTuber apology. So Foxy's apology wasn't a genuine apology. A genuine apology contains this.
Oh yes, thank you so much for this apology screenshot thingy. I can totally read that with your character covering half of the fucking image. Also, these fucking, like, apology charts are generally just fucking bullshit, especially because of the fact that, there's no such thing as this is a genuine apology no matter what the situation is, or this is not a genuine apology no matter what the situation is. Like, that's not how apologies work. It depends on the situation what can and can't be a genuine apology. But of course, we gotta use this thing you've probably fucking found on fucking Pinterest. Oh yes, that proves my point. Like, no. Like, that was probably an image you found on Pinterest. Shut up.
Foxy didn't say why it was wrong.
Maybe it's because the people who were calling them out were absolute dog shit at explaining to them what was actually wrong with their actions.
Foxy only took some responsibility due to the fact she constantly used her trauma to justify her actions.
She used them to explain her actions, not excuse or justify them. There's a fucking difference.
She didn't attempt to make amends with Void.
Absolutely fucking not. Void quite literally accused Foxy of grooming them with stupid fucking evidence. And you're expecting me to believe that Foxy should be the one apologizing to Void? Are you fucking kidding me?
Which is what they explained before they deleted their social medias, and she put no effort in her apology. Maybe it was a vent, but she could have at least kept the venting separate from the apology.
Yeah, that's something I literally said in my video. Shut up! Oh, you stupid! Oh, you dumb fuck! You fucking idiot!
Dude, calm the fuck down.
Someone hasn't watched the rest of my content.
The rest of Mushroom's video is just her re-explaining her points but to a different source, so I'm just gonna end this on a couple notes. I want to point out how Mushroom is upset how people are quote-unquote biased against Foxy when Void was literally being cancelled not too long ago. But Mushroom has also shown how biased she is with the Bad Dragon situation, so let me explain. Mushroom basically agrees with comments defending Foxy for buying an animal sex toy.
I hurt certain comments because I think that their opinions are worth listening to. That doesn't mean I agree with them. Like, it's called being respectful.
But then Mushroom complains about someone named Leo for sexualizing a cat's pregnancy. So you think that's a bit biased? Leo and Foxy have done zoophilic thing.
I never said Leo was zoophilic. What the fuck are you talking about?
You said you're fine with Foxy's. Yeah, that's kinda biased.
I talked about Leo sexualizing these things, not because, ew, gross, you're zoophilic. But, because, he was nitpicking. He wasn't just nitpicking, he was literally scraping at the bottom of the barrel trying to find something to make her look like a zoophile. And that included taking non-sexual artwork and trying to make it sexual. That is what I had an issue with, not that, oh, whoa, you're a freaking zoophile. Like, no, that's not the issue I had with it, and anytime I gave that impression, that was a joke.
Also, Mushroom, please do your research on 3-year age gaps. I understand you don't make much of an attempt to educate yourself because of the fact you support not only 3 to 4 year age gaps, but you also support bisexual, lesbians,
Prove that bi-lesbians can't exist. Go on, do it.
and pro shippers.
I don't support pro-shippers, I already said this, blah blah blah, you're an idiot. Insert what I said in the beginning of the video. Okay, so, the rest of the video isn't really important, so, we're at the end. Final thoughts? This video is bad. Please learn what pedophile means. Please learn what groomer means. Please don't throw serious accusations around. Also, why did you look at my Twitter if you presumably had just heard of me, seeing as the way you introduced me? Like, you kind of, implied, that you had, just seen my content from your friend showing me that video. So it's not like you were, somebody who already knew about me before, unless you were, and I'm just misunderstanding it. But, assuming that you weren't, why the fuck were you, on my Twitter going through months old tweets? I'd understand if they were, recent, but the tweets that you showed in the beginning of the video and mentioned at the end, those tweets were, at least one of them was from July. I can't remember when the other ones were from, but, you went back really fucking far. For some reason, it's almost like you were trying to find a reason to get pissy at me and be like, look at this person, they do this. Come on, man. It's just kind of pathetic at this point. It's not even like you found anything that actually had anything to do with the subject. If it had something to do with the subject, I'd understand. But goddamn, bro. If you have to, really discredit somebody with unrelated shit and have, barely anything else to go off of, it kind of seems like you don't have any argument to begin with, and you know that you need to discredit the person just to kind of, make yourself seem more in the right, which, usually means that you're not as in the right as you would think. But, whatever. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye. By multiple bits of the terrible logic that this person shows, I just realized that I could technically shit on them for quote-unquote supporting Shaggy because they showed Shaggy's tweet in response to my take on bi-lesbians as if it was right. And technically, since I'm allowed to discredit people based on shit that they've done that is not based on the shit that is actually in the situation, that means that technically Shaggy's wrong because Shaggy started a harassment campaign against me, and you're wrong because you're supporting somebody who started a harassment campaign against me. See, I can do this too. Also, I actually found the original tweet of the pro-shipping thing that they put on the screen in the beginning, and they use that to say that I support pro-shippers, when, that was actually one part of a Twitter thread. In the first tweet on a Twitter thread, you can see that I clearly state that both pro-shipping and pedophilia are bad things, but that does not mean that one and the other are the same thing. Oh, but conveniently, they just, I guess, forgot to show that one.